Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Newark Land Bank Invitation to Bid Pre-Submission Conference. I'm Vanessa Quijano, Senior Vice President of Business Development at Invest Newark. Before we get started, I'm going to go over our agenda for today. I'm going to do a brief introduction to Invest Newark, and then Annette Muhammad will do an introduction to Newark Land Bank, and then discuss the invitations to bid and the specifics regarding the maintenance and preservation services for residential, commercial, and industrial structures. As I mentioned earlier, I'm Vanessa Quijano, the Senior Vice President for Business Development here at Invest Newark. At Invest Newark, we are ensuring that we advance economic prosperity for all Newarkers. We do so by making sure you have access to knowledge, like our webinars such as this one, our Marketing Mondays, our Financial Fridays. We ensure that you have access to capital. As we've done through the COVID-19 pandemic, we've been assisting businesses with getting access to federal, state, and local resources and funding. And like today, we are ensuring that you get access to land through our Newark Land Bank, and then access to business opportunities through our business portal, through our procurement portal that's available at investnewark.org. Speaking about business opportunities, it's important that you also make sure that your business is found. If you haven't yet done so, please add your business to the Invest Newark Business Directory at directory.investnewark.org. With that, I now introduce Annette Muhammad, our Senior Vice President of Land Bank Operations. Annette?
Thank you, Vanessa. Good afternoon. My name is Annette Muhammad, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Land Bank Operations. On behalf of Burnell Hall, President and CEO of Invest Newark, thank you for being here to express your interest in participating in this bid invitation to provide maintenance and preservation services for the Newark Land Bank. Last summer, Governor Murphy signed into law legislation permitting New Jersey to establish land banks, in part to reduce blight and mitigate the ill effects of vacant and abandoned properties having on our communities. Pursuant to that law, the Municipal Council designated Invest Newark as the city's land bank entity. The Newark Land Bank, a division of Invest Newark, is the state of New Jersey's first land bank and will acquire, maintain, repurpose vacant and abandoned properties and return them to productive use. The maintain is where this invitation to bid comes to play. As we prepare for a formal launch of the Newark Land Bank, it is necessary to contract with vendors to provide maintenance services for our properties in the land bank's inventory until such time that they are sold or developed. While there are two separate invitations issued, one for vacant land and one for structure, this conference will focus on the maintenance and preservation of structures. You may respond to both invitations. However, each response must be done in a separate bid. Responses will only be accepted electronically and must be received in my inbox by September 14th, 2020. My email address is amuhammad@investnewark.org. It is your responsibility to ensure that your bid is transmitted successfully. So I recommend that you copy yourself on your email to me and that you send it with a delivered and read receipt notification. I will personally be confirming receipt of each submission. Newark Land Bank is looking for individuals and businesses experienced in providing the services for which they are bidding, have a proper equipment to carry out those services, and possess a no excuse ability to get the job done. The vendor or vendors awarded a contract will be required in part to inspect, clean out, secure, and maintain the land bank properties. Once awarded, the vendor will be provided with a list of properties and an electronic survey to complete for each property. Subsequent inspection reports will be required for ongoing maintenance. There is no guarantee or representation as to how many properties will be assigned to a contract, as we reserve the right to award to more than one respondent. Awardees will receive a one-year contract with an option to renew pending satisfactory performance. In your submission, I like to express the importance of being specific in the requirements in sections 2 and 3. Please be candid about how long you estimate that it will take to complete the maintenance and security of a property. What are the specific costs involved? If you have a flat fee, please list all the services included in that rate. If you itemize your costs or provide a la carte services, be specific in your breakdown and be sure to include all tasks necessary to complete the job. For example, the cost to clean out would be X. The cost to board up is Y. The cost of proper disposal, and I emphasize proper disposal, is Z, and so on. Include the cost for ongoing maintenance and what is your proposed schedule to do so. Do you propose to visit the properties to make sure that they're clean and secure once a month, twice a month, quarterly, etc.? Be sure to include an emergency plan. It's a must. Illegal dumping is real, and we expect an abatement immediately of any reported issues of this kind. Also, please provide information about your staff. For example, are you a one-man operation or do you have a three-man team? Be sure to provide references, and we do verify. Please disclose whether or not anyone has or is suing you as a result of work performed. Respondents must have funds or funding to cover the cost of their quoted services. You must be able to complete the work and submit an invoice for payment. Upon verification, we will then remit payment. The land bank does not provide startup funds or pay retainers. Proof of such financial capacity includes bank statements or a commitment from a verified lender saying that they will give you the funds for your contract. Again, we are looking for experienced vendors, both large and small. All are encouraged to apply within their capacity. It is imperative that vendors provide quality service at reasonable prices in a timely fashion. Awardees will be required to have insurance and sign a hold harmless agreement as part of their contract. Submissions will be scored as follows. Pricing, 40 points. Ability and experience, 30 points. References, 10 points. NWDBE and Newark-based respondents, 10 points. And completeness of bid, 10 points. We are a nonprofit, so of course price matters, but we don't need a hookup, we just need equitable pricing. Again, please show in your response your demonstrated ability and provide verifiable references. The next criteria is a biggie. Invest Newark wholly encourages and supports NWDBE and Newark-based businesses. And serious consideration will be given to those respondents. Please remember to include this information in your cover letter if this is your status. In addition, for the benefit of boosting local economic growth, Invest Newark also encourages that vendors purchase their materials and supplies from Newark-based businesses. Once again, submissions are due on September 14th. My email address is amuhammad@investnewark.org. It doesn't matter what time you send them on September 14th. There is no cutoff except when it's 11:59 and 58 seconds, I'm not sure that it'll transmit. We may request to meet with respondents for further consideration, and we anticipate notification of bid results via email by September 30th. Vanessa, are there any questions?
Thank you, Annette. That was very helpful. I don't see any questions yet. If you would like to ask any questions, feel free to raise your hand, attendees, and we can give you the opportunity to address your question to Annette, or you can also type it into the chat room. There is one question. How do we know the property is available?
So you won't have a list of properties initially. So once the bids are awarded, you will receive a list of properties and an inspection survey. I would suggest that when you're compiling your bid, that you put in, this is, generally, this is our cost for a residential property. And you can include the size. Is it 2,500 square feet up to, 4,000 square feet? This is our cost for a commercial property from 5,000 square feet up to 10,000 square feet. This is our cost for an industrial, that sort of thing, so that you can give a guesstimation to the pricing. Like I said, if something, comes up once, the award is made, there will be, some room for discussion, but we will notify you up front. If you decide that you're awarded, but, oh, I have these properties and I can't do this for what was, quoted, there is, an option to not enter into the agreement. Again, like I said, we will be having some interviews for potential candidates, and that also can just be discussed further there.
Another question is,
oh, go ahead, Vanessa. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say one of the other questions that we had here.
Go ahead.
So another question that we have from the attendees is how will we be able to do bids?
Okay, I think there's a little misconception as to what this invitation to bid is. This is not for the sale of property. This bid is to provide maintenance services for land bank properties. This is not a sale. This is for you to enter into a contract with Invest Newark to provide maintenance and preservation services for land bank properties. This is not a sale.
Thank you for that clarification. Similarly, though, regarding placing a bid, submitting their bid to provide maintenance services, the bids are available, the RFP is available on the procurement portal. And is there a form that you are requesting, or do they simply submit as is detailed in the invitation to bid, in regular document?
In the invitation to bid, there is a format just identifying the things that must be included. We would appreciate that you just kind of adhere to the format, and it's just kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of almost like writing an essay with a starting, a middle, and an end, and just provide the information that is requested.
So I brought back the slide with the bid requirements. Maybe you want to specify again. You have here maximum 2 pages.
Yes, so that your cover letter should be no more than 2 pages. And this is where you identify yourself, whether or not you're MW, DBE contractor. Provide information about yourself and, work that you've done. If you want to, provide examples or locations of work that you've done. We just ask that you keep the cover letter to 2 pages. The scope of work is really, really important again. We need you to detail the cost estimate. And if these are the type of services you provide, we may be missing something in our request. And you can provide some food for thought. We may have said, oh, well, if we, make a recommendation for fencing, it would be this additional cost and that sort of thing. And again, key is emergency response plans. We don't want to be in a position where, our properties are unkempt. So your ability to respond to an emergency situation and our ability to be able to contact you to respond to an emergency situation is very important. And please, there's no respondent too big or too small. And just be honest about and candid about, your capacity. If you are a one-man team, it doesn't mean that, you won't be able to bid or to participate. You just might not be able to participate with as many properties as someone that has a large capacity. And so again, please give us your references. We do check. So if you tell us to call, your cousin Eric, and just make sure that he's going to say some good things about you and not that you owe money, would also have to do kind of a litigation. So just be very candid in your response. And like I said, I'm encouraging all to submit and participate, both, large, small vendors, local vendors. We want to hear from you.
Great. So there's a lot of questions about timing, really specifically, how much time does the property need to be developed immediately, or do they develop later? How long will you give them time to do any surveys?
So again, that question about timing and the property being developed, this is not that type of bid. There is nothing to develop. And that's why this is a bid invitation and not an RFP. We're not asking you to build anything. We're not asking you to develop anything. We've identified in our bid document what it is that we're requesting you to do. We're requesting you to go over. The survey is for you to inspect the property. You're going to go take that survey and you're going to go to the property and you're going to see if the property is occupied, if the property is vacant, if the property needs to be boarded up, if it's, if the porch is broken, are there windows, are the windows broken, that sort of thing. You're surveying the condition of the property because your responsibility will be to clean out that property if there's debris in the property, legally and properly dispose of the debris, and secure the property to keep any squatters from breaking in and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so that was another question is, how detailed do they need to be if they're, about maintaining properties or lots? Is it only exterior? Is it only interior? Is it both? Are you going to be hiring different businesses to provide those?
So the cost of securing the property should be included in your bid. We're not going to have a separate company come and secure the property. So if, there's going to be one cost if your method is to board up, to provide wood boarding. I imagine that plexiglass is another cost, steel gates is another cost. You determine based upon your professional experience and expertise as to how much securing that property needs. So do I only secure the bottom floor, or do I need to secure the top windows as well? Do I, just secure it from the outside, or do I need to put some reinforcement on the inside? You want to secure the property sufficiently based upon your experience and expertise so that you're not going to have to keep going back over there because someone's breaking into the property. And yes, you will be responsible for, again, cleaning the property out.
And do they include any additional vendors that they would need to perform the job?
I would recommend that if part of your plan is to subcontract with a vendor to provide, so say it's the steel gates that you plan on using. I would include that in your bid, that you plan on including with, for instance, I think one of the names of like is Empty Gates or something like that, one of the companies that you plan on hiring to provide that service for you, and what is the cost associated to that, so that we know how it impacts your cost estimate.
Okay. So when you say in section 2, detailed cost estimate and timeline, should they be just, specifically like one building or one property, and then obviously, you'll multiply from there?
Right. So if we know that, we don't expect you to do, maybe all the properties at like one time if you have a bunch of properties. However, how long does it take you to do one property? And I do recognize that that will depend on the condition of the property. So get good best estimate. And this is where our local people come into play, because you know our properties, you know what the vacant and abandoned properties look like in the city of Newark. And so, going by, just giving us a rough guesstimate as to, okay, it'll take me one day to do, one property, or it'll take me a half a day, knowing that you might have to, get a dumpster over there to get it cleaned out, to get it properly, disposed of and get it secured. It'll take a half a day to do one. So then we know then that'll take you to do 3 days to do 6, and we'll multiply it out that way.
Okay, the next question is, I'm actually going to allow this person to speak, from Ochoa Builds.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
I have a question. I know you're going into everything in detail, and that's very helpful. Should there be any questions, can we reach out to you through email?
Yes, absolutely. I encourage you to email me with any questions that you may have or that arise as you are preparing your bid. I just want to be very frank that sometimes it gets a little hectic during the day. I do respond at night, late at night, and on the weekends. But I will
Thank you.
I will get back to you, get your response just as soon as available, knowing that you needed to get your bid together.
I appreciate it. And my last thing would be, is this, when putting a price together, would it be preferable to do it with a union labor, or just everything is open shop? As I know this is part of the city, so do we need to use union labor? Does it need to be the Davis-Bacon wages, or just straight open shop?
Prevailing wages do not apply for
Okay.
this bid invitation.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Great. So, I think you've addressed this already, but another question was, if awarded the bid, what is the expected time frame to complete a property survey?
So in your bid, you're going to tell us what your time frame is to complete. And we'll let you know whether or not that's satisfactory or not. So say we like your bid, but we don't like your time. That may be something that can be addressed in the respondent interview. Like, hey, we really want to go with you, but you said it's going to take you a day and a half, and we need you to do this in 3/4 of a day. That sort of thing. So you tell us how long that you think that it will take you, and we'll let you know whether or not that's satisfactory. And we may have occasion to call you randomly and, say we find out before you do that, something has occurred, that someone's dumped on a property or that sort of thing, or, residents have reported, some activity, at the property, then, we need to be able to contact you, and we need an immediate response for abatement.
So I know we have to reiterate this, but I think maybe, Annette, you can be clear on the fact that, you know, this call is for a bid for services. We're not selling property right now. Can you advise them when you think that we will be selling property?
I'm not going to let them back me into that corner, Vanessa.
But it's
we are
it's all
looking-
dependent on actually on the work that of these services.
It depends on that. We do have a couple of steps left before we can actually formally launch the land bank. And part of it has to do, you know, with our relationship with the city and municipal council action. But it also has to do with us securing the services of these vendors in order to get the properties ready and available so that we can offer them for sale. So we're looking to launch, I want to say in the next, you know, 45 to 60 days, depending on, you know, some outside factors. But, you know, we plan on getting the contracts awarded by the end of September, and we'll be looking to start immediately.
So I know this goes back to the properties again, but just want to make sure we address the question. They're asking, is this for properties that have units being rented out or vacant properties?
So I believe the initial properties will be vacant properties, but you know, say you still are, you know, have this contract and we do get properties into our inventory that are not vacant. Part of your survey will be to indicate if there is, you know, someone is occupying the property. You know, whether or not they're actually held over tenants or residents, or, you know, whether or not they're squatters. And if there is someone actually living in the property as a resident, you know, it would be required for you to make your best efforts, legal efforts to, you know, just ring the doorbell and, you know, hey, who's living here, and get their contact information. So that, you know, we can deal with it. We're not expecting you to, you know, ring the doorbell and, you know, put people out and board up their house, anything like that.
Great. So another question is the city going to pay them? Who's paying them?
You will be paid, your contract will be with Invest Newark. The land bank, Newark Land Bank, is a division of Invest Newark, and you will be paid by Invest Newark.
Now, another question is, so this is to rehab properties and maintain them for the year. Is there a time frame that they have to maintain them?
So again, you're not rehabbing properties. You're maintaining in them and you're securing them for the term of your contract. So if your contract is for 1 year, okay, how many inspections are you bidding to provide for that property? So your contract is for a year. A year is 12 months. I plan on, you know, providing 2 inspections for each property, you know, per month. And that's how you should derive your costs.
Okay. Let's see a couple more questions here. Are new preservation companies encouraged to apply? So is there a minimum time frame that these businesses have to be in operation, or can they be a startup?
Startups are kind of encouraged. What I found is that, you know, there are a lot of, you know, local, you know, residents in Newark businesses that are, you know, provide service and have the ability to do these, perform these services, you know, for the land bank. And so if you need to get your documents in order, that's fine. If you have been doing business and you're very capable and, you know, you fulfill all the requirements and you don't have a, you know, a BRC, that's fine. You can, get that BRC business registration certificate. So that we encourage that. That's why I said small or large, part of the services that, we provide here at Invest Newark through Vanessa's team of business development is helping you get all of the documentation that you need so that you can qualify and participate when these type of opportunities arise. And if you're small and you want to partner with someone larger, if you're welcome to do that. Joint ventures are encouraged, partnerships are encouraged as well.
So that actually leads into the next question someone had was, can a nonprofit partner with a for-profit to submit a bid?
So the bid does not mandate that you be a nonprofit or a for-profit. So however you want to get your partnership together, that's fine. You don't need to be a nonprofit to participate, and you don't need to be a for-profit. You are who you are. And you apply according to what's, in the best interest of your business.
Great. I think that's helpful. Let's see. Scrolling down, another question is, so does securing the property also mean rodent services too?
Well, vacant and abandoned properties have a propensity to draw rodents anyway. We haven't required that in the bid, and it may be some food for thought as to whether or not we should. If it's a part of the service that you require, I would include that cost. If so say the neighbor complains, the property is next door to my house, and it's a land bank property and it's a mess. That might be one of your a la carte services that we call you up and say, hey, can you go over there and do a rodent treatment? Drop down some bait boxes, that sort of thing. So if you have or can provide for such a service, please also include it. Thank you. That was a very good question too.
So we have another person that raised their hand. So I'm going to allow here Sunshine Thomas to pose a question.
Yes. Hi. How are you this afternoon?
Hello, Sunshine.
Hello. I'm coming on pretty late. I'm getting the tail end because I didn't see my link, so I had to call the office so that they can resend it. But the little bit that I did here, I wanted to, that last question was a very good question because it was part of something that I wanted to ask about the nonprofit and for-profit. Is there a possibility that you guys have a list of people that want to partner up and maybe everyone could get together and do such of a thing? Or you would have to find them on your own?
So we don't have a list that I believe of per se. So this is our maiden voyage here. So you guys are getting in on the ground level of the Newark Land Bank and with this invitation to bid here. I'm sure that at some point we will be creating a sort of, pool or, database where, people can contact one another. And maybe that's something also that, Vanessa and the business development that we can examine in providing a way for people to kind of like link up with one another for, shared opportunities.
Yeah,
Well,
I think that would be a great idea to do.
Well, that leads me to the business directory on our website. So if you go to directory.investnewark.org, we have a business directory where you can add your business on there for free. And, that is a website business directory for all of Newark. So we highly encourage all of you to add your listing there. It's not just for the land bank. It's not for just our bids, but also for other larger or other organizations or businesses in the Newark area that are looking for your type of services. You should add it on to our website, because I am working with the anchor businesses so that they can add their bids to our procurement portal. So also look to our procurement portal to see if any other businesses have added their needs. The city's bids are going to be added on there, as well as the Board of Ed. So we encourage you to definitely add your business to the directory, because some are not issuing RFPs or bids. They're simply looking to the business directory for any listings for the services and product offerings they are looking for.
Interesting.
So thank you, Sunshine. We have a question here in the chat room. It says, if we are awarded a contract, will we have advantage in securing contract to acquire properties?
Aha.
Ah.
No, these are completely separate things. When you're applying for this bid, when you apply for property, you will be applying separately. There will be no advantage. The only advantage is that we will have we will know what your work looks like. But then again, cleaning up a property and, rehabbing a property is not always like the same thing. I can clean up, but I can't build anything. So, like I said, it will give us some experience with you in dealing with you, your level of, capability, capacity, professionalism, seriousness. It will tell us things about the character of your business and how you conduct business. And that may, provide some type of consideration when we're evaluating your proposal to acquire property.
All right. Are there any more questions? You can type it into the chat room, or you can raise your hand as a attendee. I see here.
Yeah, we have another hand raised.
Great. So we're allowing you to talk, Mitchell Foster.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Foster.
Hi. I have a question. If we need help putting our proposal together, can we, where can we find help with putting the proposal together?
Vanessa, would you like to answer this question?
Sure. So normally, yeah, we would be able to help with that. But we also, it depends exactly what you need. I mean, whether it's in the writing, we'll be happy to review it. And so that you would contact me. I'm not reviewing any of the applications for the land bank. I would just be reviewing it for to ensure you have all the essential requirements that that Annette has here, and anything else, we can make recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me just say that I'm a individual that feels like presentation is everything. But I do understand and appreciate that, sometimes, we have the information, we can provide the service, and we just kind of maybe don't know how to commit it, to paper. I don't want that, again, to discourage anyone from applying. Put down, I prefer that you not to, but if you have to write it longhand and scan it in and email it over, I mean, get your submission in. If it's something and, we need to call you in and say, hey, well, we didn't understand this, or, that, your presentation looks good, but can, you provide, your bank statement, that sort of thing. We want you to apply. We want everyone to take advantage of this opportunity. Whether or not, you're one man, and, if you're one man with a lawnmower, maybe you don't submit a bid for the maintenance and preservation. Submit a bid for the maintenance of our vacant lots. We want just to make sure that, and that's why we split this invitation into two, to make sure that, it gives everyone an opportunity to bid and to participate based upon their capacity.
Hmm.
So if there are no more questions, I want to thank everyone for participating today. I look forward to receiving your bid, and please feel free to email me. I know I've given it to you ad nauseum, Amuhammad@investnorth.org. Please don't send me an email on September 13th asking for some help. I might miss it or might not get it until it's too late to matter. But as soon as you can, prepare, your bid, you can, submit them ahead of September 14th. But if you feel like you're going to revise anything, please don't send me, oh, take that one back, take this one. Make sure that it's all done and complete, and then make sure that I have your final bid by September 14th. And again, feel free to email me with any additional questions that may arise.
Annette, before you go, there was one last question. It says,
Okay.
do we need money to apply, and why do you need the bank account?
So if you submit a bid to us and say, I want to, these are the cost of my services, and the cost of my services, whether or not you do it per property. So the cost of my services is $300 per property. And we say, okay, we're going to award you, 5 properties. We want to know that you have that $1,500 plus a cushion for any accidentals and incidentals, because we're not giving you money to start. So you're going to have to take your $1,500, or let's make it an even $2,000, and go over there and start the work yourself, and then bill us. We go out, we verify that the work has been done, and then we remit payment. So that's why you need to make sure that you have the money up front and that you can do it. Don't send us a bill and then be, calling us like in 10 minutes and can I get paid, or, oh, I couldn't complete this task because I didn't have the money to do it. We want to make sure, and that's why I encourage you and implore you to please bid to your capacity. There's no such thing as something too small. It's funny, even if you do one, or do 2 properties, we just don't want you to bite off more than you can chew, and responsibly awarding you a contract and you responsibly entering into an agreement with us for a contract will, ensure that you have funds to do that, and that you are successful in this endeavor with the Newark Land Bank.
Another question. Can a business owner do this, or only experienced contractor?
So, you can be a contractor, you can be a business, you can, be a person, you can be a company, whatever your status is. If you're an individual, a business, a for-profit, a nonprofit, it doesn't matter. Anyone can apply.
For those that joined late, we will be making the recording of this conference call available on our website at investnewark.org/webinar gallery. It'll also be on the Land Bank page. So we'll also have the slides available there as well, probably by 4 o'clock today. As Francisco said, as well as our Invest Newark YouTube page. So for everyone, the website Let me just type it in here. Our website is investnewark.org. And from there, you can go to our business directory to add your business so you can be found. From there, you can go to the land bank page where the bids are listed, and then you register on our procurement portal to see the full details of the invitation to bid. You can go to our webinar gallery from our website. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. Newark Land Bank will also have their own Facebook page and social media pages once the program launches. With that, any final thoughts, Annette? Otherwise, thank you very much for your detailed answers to everyone's questions. There were definitely some questions I didn't think of prior to today's conference call.
I have nothing further. So hopefully this conference has been, helpful in providing some clarity to any questions that you have. Again, just apply.
Great. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Hope you have a good day. Again, we'll be posting this on our website by the end of the day. Thank you and have a good one. Be safe and be well.
Thank you all.